Hello and welcome to the reaction with me, Jacob. And Charlie, it's been a while, but I'm here again. Top of our stories today, we'll look at the government releases 987 million Ghana cedis common fund to all assemblies. And to more stories, we'll look at the energy sector levy, which is causing a lot of commotion in different camps depending on where you find yourself. These are the two major stories we'll be looking at, plus some other stories. It's been a while, right? It's been a while, but I'm here. I've heard so many stories, a lot of stuff have gone on. And look, day in and day out as a country, we have to grow. We have to admit that growth should be part of us. And growth will come with a lot of conversation, a lot of joy day in and day out. So look, whether you are in opposition, whether you are in government, don't be worried about it. The conversations must still go on. The likes of our friend will have to make their noise. Look, minority, majority, this one says this one says that. But the key, most important thing is that we have to look out for the most important conversations which will bring development to us day in and day out as people. We have to endeavor to grow. Wherever we find ourselves as people, we have to endeavor to grow. And growth is the most important thing. And that has been the main reason why Ghanaians, or quote unquote, the ordinary Ghanaian, has seemed not to be comfortable with every politician in the last 2 decades. It is quite unfortunate that we've appointed government upon government, yet we are not getting what we are looking for. Successive government come in and all they can tell us is government is continuation. Government should continue at every point in time. We should see this, we should see that. XYZ. Look, we are still where we are. Our standpoint is just one. At this moment, we are in a government which is dubbing itself as a researching government. And if you ask me, so far they've been good. Someone would say you are doing politics with it. Look, it doesn't matter. I've always stand at one juncture that as a human being, you can never say you are neutral. At that moment, you are stupid. Excuse my language. Sorry for using that word. You can never tell me that in all honesty, wherever you find yourself religiously, that you are neutral. It doesn't work. Even our Christ Jesus Christ, our Savior, God Himself, is not neutral. He has a standpoint. The Bible says He's a jealous God. He is a jealous God. Now today I will leave you with this. Just as some parts of Proverbs says that let wisdom be your sister and let insight be your relative. This morning you have to endeavor to tell yourself, hey, I want wisdom. I need wisdom from God. It looks like as a country we are missing out on that quote, wisdom. When Solomon wanted wisdom, he went to God, asked for it for his people, our leaders, and it's high time you go in for wisdom. You are losing it. Both on the opposition and government, we are losing it. And today I have a lot of conversations for you. Quickly, let's delve into it. I will pick it from the disbursement of funds from our finance ministry. And I'm asking myself again, year in, year out, Ghanaians have been shouting, screaming on top of their voices. Our taxes are not being utilized prudently by whoever is in charge. Our taxes are not being utilized prudently, reasonably. How on earth is that possible? That we continue to do the same things and we expect different results. I, for once, believe that our municipal assemblies have become white dogs, white elephants over the years. They are just there. Every day, every year, they keep on sucking our monies, yet we see little from them. Every time they push the blame to the central government, yet they are there to also achieve certain tasks. Year in, year out, every municipal assembly is reading their own budget. Where is it? How is it affecting us positively? All they can do is build some small chips. Oh, then they'll build some toilet facilities. They'll buy some small student chairs to the government schools. Then the rest, what is it? Bad roads in all our municipal assemblies. Bad roads. If you will see any road good, then it means that the central government has done something good for us. So for government to say that we are doing the same thing, I have a problem with this. I'm reading this story from Graphic Online, which was written June 4, 2025. Government releases 987 million Ghana cedis common fund to assemblies. So as he states, let me read further. So the government has disbursed 987.96 million Ghana cedis to the District Assembly's Common Fund as the first quarter allocation for 2025. The Minister for Finance, Dr. Kesel Atoforsen, has told Parliament. Let me try and read this out. Says that the disbursement, he said, underscores the government's renewed commitment to fiscal decentralization and empowerment of metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies across the country. He stated further that the amount had already been transferred from the consolidated fund to the District Assembly's Common Fund Administrator and will be governed by strict cabinet approved guidelines to ensure transparency and alignment with national development goals. I hope so. This is where I stand at. We should make sure that these funds disbursed to every municipal assembly should be used wisely. Underline word, wisely. At every point in time, go to a municipal, every time they are yielding results with their internally generated fund, yet nothing to point at. They have been one of our major problems. They've been our major problem. If you read further, the breakdown says that briefing Parliament on development yesterday, Dr. Forsen, who is also the Member of Parliament for Ajumako and Esiam, disclosed that the Cabinet had approved detailed expenditure categories to guide how the disbursed funds were spent at the local level. I hope that they will follow the plans the central government is. He explained that 25% of the total amount was earmarked for the design and construction of a model market in each district. I'm hoping, and I'll be watching keenly, that these markets will be built. And he didn't do us any good. He should have added the timelines to it. That from here to here, 25% of the money has been earmarked for building a market at every district. So we should be seeing the markets very, very soon. I'm sure it is part of the central government's agenda that they are going to move every trader from the street to the market centers, and that should be the agenda. Our roads are choked up with traders. We need to move them from there to their right positions. So if government says that we are dedicating 25% of each money given to every assembly for the construction of a market at the district level, I am hoping they will follow. And it says that another 10% have been set aside for educational infrastructure. I'm hoping to see that too. Specifically the construction of kindergarten block, a primary school block, and a junior high school block in each district. I hope they've calculated it well, that the next thing we are going to hear from every assembly member or from every municipal assembly CEO wouldn't be that, yes, the money has been given, but it's not enough. And that's why we've not been able to begin construction. That's why our construction is stunted and all sort of, look, it's not necessary. What we've gotten to where people are just tired. Can you just imagine that investing and you're not seeing any profits? Just imagine. Me, you know, something said additionally, He said 20% of the release amount was to be used to complete abandoned and uncompleted legacy projects initiated by the former regional development authorities, Middle Belt, Coastal, and Northern Development Authorities. One of the major things he should have added that some of these projects are even part of the E-levy, the E-blocks secondary school, the day school secondary schools which Mahama started and couldn't complete. Some of them are 50% completed, 20% completed, 40%. At every level, if you have some in your constituency, if you have some in your district, I think that our municipal assembly should begin to look at it. If they can begin that construction, it will help a lot. It will help. They should understand that they are part of the nation building. Yet every time they behave as if they are isolated. That's how they are behaving. Personally, I'm asking myself, what is wrong with our municipal assemblies? Is it just that they don't know what they are doing? Look, in Accra here, take a consideration like the Punkatamazu constituency. The Punkatamazu Municipal Assembly has one of the E blocks. It is currently around 40% completion. The surroundings of the whole construction has been encroached by private people to the extent that some of the assembly members have been integral in the selling out of the lands, claiming that the land belongs to them. And it happened. We have to open our eyes. I say, from Katamansi Municipal Assembly, go there, ask them what has happened to the E-block facility. The day school construction started by John Mahama. Where ask them, check the lands dedicated to the government by the chiefs. It is being encroached. The whole facility has turned into a rezone. Why? We can do something about it as a municipal assembly. We can do something about it. Our internally generated, I have been screaming on top of my voice, written series of articles around it. Yet nothing has been done. Go and check that facility. It is getting rotten. A lot has to be done. Look, the workload of this government, they don't even have an idea. So our local government should understand that they are here to help. Are you? Our engine, I quote at it says that we are committed to adequately resourcing MMDs and ensuring that effective and accountable utilization of these resources is maintained at all times. Profiling the other count, a Jumano. Now let's move into some other stories. We are told that there is another levy being implemented by the NDC government. And I've heard several conversations that they did not mention it in their manifesto. And I'm wondering, did the MPP mention the E-levy in their manifesto? Did they mention it? I am not comparing. Nobody will do it. For me, at the initial stage, I did not agree that you don't reduce fuel prices few days ago and decide to increase the levies on energy in this country. It shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't work that way. So I'm currently reading from Graphic Online, one of the energy experts wrote this interesting article, and I want us to go through it carefully just to brief you and give you details of why the 1 Ghana cedi levy on the energy sector is very important. The 1 Ghana cedi energy sector levy, a necessary intervention for Ghana's energy future. So let's read. It was written by Richmond Eduku, finance and energy policy analyst. It says that at a time when physical prudence, macroeconomic recovery, and energy security are all in delicate balance, the government of Ghana's decision to increase the energy sector recovery levy, which is the ESLA, by 1 cedi per litre deserves more than a cursory political response. It requires sober, data-driven analysis. Now let's see why he's saying this. While any tax or levy increase warrants scrutiny, this policy move, passed under a certificate of urgency by Parliament, represents a strategic and necessary intervention. Listen, it was passed under a certificate of urgency by Parliament. So the conversation that they did it in the night by the opposition, and that they smuggled this tax onto the Ghanaian people during the night, and that I've heard even some ministers and some MPs screaming that yes, why did they do that? And that it was not, they were not supposed to do it that way. They were supposed to do it in the day. Whether they did it in the day, they did it in the night, still the levy has been implemented. It was signed by the president yesterday. So it's going to work. We have to look at the positive aspect of it. Why are they saying they want to do this? So it represents a strategic and necessary intervention. It comes as Ghana's energy sector grapples with a staggering $3.1 billion in legacy debt, plus an additional $1.8 billion needed for imminent fuel procurement. This burden, if left unaddressed, could plunge the country back into prolonged power outages and crippled productivity. Scenarios the nation cannot afford. Now let me pick it from this angle. Let's use our small common sense here. Everybody, either opposition and government, has agreed that Ghana's power problem, or the so-called quote-unquote doomsday, which is the power outages we've been suffering from over the years, is not about production. It's about finance. Sikasem. I had a veteran journalist, Christopher Jr., screaming that the $4 billion legacy debt, who is supposed to fund it? How are we going to pay that debt? Far from it. If you want to compare it to the electronic levy implemented by the government, the immediate past government, the MPP government, the e-levy, they should tell us what was it for? What was the purpose? What was it for? They should tell us. Taxing electronic levies, what was it for? Clearly, after some few months, we were told that the e-levy is failing to reach its maximum, its target. It was not producing the revenues we were looking for. Now, somebody will say that the ESLA was one of the levies implemented by the NDC government in 2015. What has happened to it? How on earth have we not seen anything good coming out of it? We've been told that the energy sector of this country is in huge debt. A car, left, right, center. What would we do? Are we supposed to conjure monies to pay them? As Ghanaians, please side with me. Are we not supposed to be doing yensum onye nipa? If you don't do it, we should come to the agreement, to that understanding, to that anchor that if I don't do it, and it's not about me anymore, it's not about you watching me, it's about us as a people. We can do this as one people. So if you listen to our first president, at the time that the country was being handed to us as a country with full freedom, total liberation, our emancipation was given to us. No, we were told by the president that thanks to the market woman, thanks to the trader, thanks to the carpenter, thanks to the fisher folk, thanks to the ordinary gold coaster at the time who had shed his blood, fought for the freedom of this country. Today, we live in our country where some politicians want us to succumb to neocolonialism. Our affiliations with the IMF, clearly, our freedom has been succumbed, in quote, to neo-colonialism, where we want to always go and feed on what the Europeans have for us, what these foreign people have for us. The partitioning of Africa is more than enough to inform us that we have to begin to derail, destroy, depart from all forms of neo-colonialism. And how do we do this? I will now go back to borrowing Nanado's words in his first tenure. Ghana beyond aid. We have it all. All the natural resources, we have them. The human resource, we have more than enough, in abundance. Check the number of people who have left, the number of professionals who have left the shores of this country, and yet the country is still okay. We have more than enough to work with it. Yet what has happened to us? Thinking, pettiness, evilness. In all honesty, we have not helped ourselves as a people. We have not. And if we are not in charge, then nobody is in charge. I have said earlier that this one CD levy, for me, the timing is wrong. The timing is wrong. The timing is totally wrong. The timing is wrong. And I'm saying it again. So I hear people, right? So I'm reading from Ghana where it says that on 5th of June 2025, the introduction of one CD energy sector levy is necessary to stabilize power sector. This is from no other than Dr. Elipim Kwabla Akpetobo, Chief Executive Officer, Independent Power Generators Ghana, the IPGNG. So he put it in bulletin. So let me read his first bulletin. It says that the Independent Power Generators Ghana extends its firm support for the government of Ghana's introduction of one CD levy aimed at addressing the growing and unsustainable debt within the electricity value chain. This policy intervention is both necessary and time sensitive, given the precarious financial state of the sector. The sector is in debt. In other words, you would say that it is wallowing, it is swimming in a pool of debt. What can we do to do that, to solve the situation? He further says that it must be stated with clarity and conviction that the current accumulation of debt, now significantly compounded and overdue, was entirely avoidable. The sector's distress, which affects power producers, fuel suppliers, and system reliability, is a direct consequence of the mismanagement and misapplication of previously established energy sector levy and bond proceeds loans. Funds that were earmarked for the settlement of legacy debt and restoration of financial health were not applied with the discipline, transparency, accountability that the sector required. So Mr. Eliklim Kwabla is saying that, look, the ESLA, which was a levy dedicated to fund these projects to aid the energy sector, was not used properly. He says that discipline was not applied, transparency, accountability, nothing. Number three, as a result, the entire power delivery ecosystem is now under immense strain. Independent power generators are unable to recover costs, maintain assets, or secure timely fuel supplies, a situation that undermines grid stability, endangers electricity reliability, and diminishes confidence among investors and financial partners. Please, you can go check it out on Ghana Web. Now I'll end it by listening to Ransford Jampo, who defends one CD fuel levy, slams critics, and passes issues of taxes. For me, I won't make any comment on this. I will end it here. But for the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Shippers Authority, I'm reading his part, then I end it. I have no further comments to give. Professor Ransford Jampo has publicly backed the controversial one CD levy, urging Ghanaians to focus on accountability rather than outright rejection of policy. In a recent Facebook post, Professor Jampo emphasized that the new levy, approved on June 3rd and imposed on every liter of fuel, is justifiable if it ensures transparency and directly addresses Ghana's energy sector challenges. So when I quote him, says that Ghanaians would prefer to pay one city fuel levy to be used to solve a problem than to pay one PESWA levy or COVID levy to be stolen by greedy people who also stole pensions of the aged. And I think I have this one here, this on Twitter. So formerly the former Twitter, that's X. So June 5th is no other than Johnny Forger with the newly cut one baby. Says that on e-levy you pay 10 cedis on every 1,000 momo, right? You sent. Yet we all agreed it needed to be abolished. Listen, please. I'm not going to make any comment. I'm reading from their own people. Johnny Forger. It says on e-levy you pay 10 cedis on every 1,000 momo, 1,000 Ghana cedis momo you sent. Yet we all agreed it needed to be abolished. On D-levy, you will pay 83 Ghana cedis on every 1,000 cedis of fuel you buy. Was D-levy part of NDC's manifesto? You questioned. Would you have voted for NDC if they promised you that you will pay 83 cedis on every 1,000 cedis fuel you buy? Drivers and Okada riders will definitely pass this on to passengers. Private car users will be worse off. In the end, our citizens will be ripped off big time for the votes they cast for NDC. People were unhappy with 10 CD Ghana levy on 1,000 CDs, but now will be extremely frustrated having to pay 83 CDs levy on every 1,000 CDs for fuel. NDC was disingenuously scammed, has disingenuously scammed Ghana with D-levy. NDC's Doomsday levy is far worse than E-levy that was demonized. Says that NDC said they had abolished Doomsday. In fact, they denied the prevalence of Doomsday when Ghanaians demanded no shedding schedule. Turns out that they need to impose hefty Doomsday levy on Ghanaians before they could keep our lights on. You see where I'm sad? Surprised nobody than him is the one making that noise. Anyway, that's his opinion. This is where we end today's edition of the reaction. Thanks for joining me.